lines, and we're kind of talking about this last year, and like on paper versus what really happens. So a couple things for USA football, we want broad skill development, right? Position sampling, we talk about position sampling and kids exposed to all positions. And I think there's a right, wrong way to do that. I think we learned a lot. To me, I want the minimum effective dose. You know, our kids are running back, you know, a little bit of dose of quarterback and running back. And to me, that's like all year long, right? So that's one reason you have spring flag, so I can get kids who are like linemen. Now they can play quarterback in spring flag. They can check that box there, or camps. That way we can make fall football a little bit more about your primary position. So yeah, we're gonna a little bit later, but again, if you're new to this, there's one coach allowed on the field. So offense and defense, right? The one coach is out there with the play cards, just getting fired up, that kind of thing. On offense, kids will rotate line and skill each quarter. So if you play right guard in the first quarter, second guard, you're playing quarterback, running back, or receiver. Which I think is pretty cool and builds that blocking, selfless mentality. So kids will have, I think the easiest thing is they have a primary line position and primary skill position. So for me in my head, the simplest thing, if you're a quarterback, then you play center. You're handling the ball. You know, if you can play quarterback, you're an athlete, you can snap the ball, which is the most important part of this thing. If you have a bad snap, it doesn't matter how good the play is or good players are, it's rough. So, and they're not covered, right? They're not covered. So, you know, the left running back would be the left guard. You know, the right running back would be the right guard. So it's just a simple way to do it. To me, that the tight end receiver, the X, he's kind of a lineman and skill kid anyway, so we don't have to really switch spots. What's up, Coach?
Hello.
And we're gonna we're gonna do more with that receiver position and put in different spots. So it'll be spread, it'll be flex, it'll be a tight end. So we'll kind of have the sampling of all that. Defense, I think defense, you just have one primary position. If you get kids learning too many things, they're gonna be blowing gaskets out there. So one line position on offense, one skill position, one primary defensive position. There's only about 25 to 30 plays a game, basically about one drive per quarter. I think it's also helpful to have like two groups. So in offense, my team had a Thunder group and a Lightning group, right? And defense, we had Cobra and Python or something like that. But having some fun group names, I know Gary had some Razor or something like that. I don't know. Forget about it, but like just think of something for the kids. Just helps. Like, hey, okay, now the Razor team's in, and then, you know, so things like that I thought were helped. Also, we want to have kind of more fun play names. Like your Superman is the S is for sweet, midline and Mudcat. Especially now that we're integrated with the younger kids, I want to make it, that's a lowest common denominator is a first grader. So I want the play names to be kind of the same from first grade to sixth grade. So like if it's in the B gap, it'll have a B. Buckeye, Beast, you know, the ball's going into B gap. Cowboy, it's a C gap play. Devil is a D gap play. And then there'll be some other stuff, but trying to have some, so it makes sense for the lowest common denominator. And also what we did last year is we just went on one every time. Just to keep it simple. It's more important to have the kids coming off the ball hard and, you know, remember what play it is. It's just such a bummer a kid jumps offside. So I got that from Kirtland. They've won how many state championships? They've won one every time. So just to keep it really simple. So and coaches last year, again, what are perspectives of these USA football things? What worked, what didn't work? Suggestions or?
Which snap are we using this year?
Oh yeah, we'll get into that later. Yeah, we'll do some under center stuff, and we'll do the dead snap. I think it's easier. We'll do that later though. Rotating kids' positions or things that didn't work or end up being okay.
Hardest part was the small kids, putting them on the line, and then
Yeah.
the little bit bigger kids. I had some that didn't really want the ball.
Which is okay. Some kids, there's a couple that were just like, there were linemen
I
type
only had
kids.
8 kids for a good portion of the year.
Right, that's right. So it'll be a little better. Have better numbers this year, but
Yeah, I totally agree with the rotating positions. I think the one quarter thing from watching was really tough. You had kids all, especially in third and fourth grade, they'd get lost, you know, knowing where to go because they were switching from here to here to here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's one of those things where it's like a half, or hey, maybe the one week they play a lot of line, but you know, you get the next week, you got a couple of practices, you can get them used to like playing the X receiver, and then maybe they play that the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more on a game to game basis. Just
Yeah, I felt like I was explaining the play to every kid, every play.
Mhm.
Like 7 different kids telling them where to go before every play. So I agree with the switching. They got to learn different positions, but I think some way we got to figure out how to give them more reps, or maybe it's to send the playbook home with parents, or I don't know if we have plans to do that this year or not.
Yeah, so that, yeah, I mean, so we can get the link, so that having the play cards will help too.
Yeah.
They're just more professional looking, and I think just a second year, just in victory camp, like the kids knew, I'd be like, hey, what's this play called? Beast pass right. Like the kids are like, now they're gonna have kids who are experienced, like third graders, now fourth graders are gonna be leaders. So I think that'll help too. Also depends on like the league rules too, you know, like, I don't think Avon is super strict on like quality control for that, but
No, they were.
you know, it was just, yeah. So like, I didn't know what the quality control was gonna be like last year. Because they didn't know if that was like, you read on the website, but you know.
Like in the spring when we were doing the Sunday thing, I made sure like one week that kid played like all line maybe. Next week he was playing receiver the whole game, you know. So I always try to rotate it that way. I felt like it worked because the 45-minute practice beforehand, you just repetition.
Yeah, it was, we didn't have any weekday practices. That was like
Yeah, so
really
you're
good
just
different
like-
animal.
And then it's just ingrained in their head, they
Yeah.
just do, you know, one route or whatever.
Yeah. I'm open to like the each half thing. I think kids should play. It'd be a bummer to play line for the whole game, and that, you know, like. So I'm open to like the half, just getting in a rhythm, and because that's the thing. You might have one drive in a quarter,
Yeah, that was
and like
the
6
thing, right?
plays, and then you're switching. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that was the, you know, the hard part.
Yeah.
You might have one long touchdown, and then they hit drive the ball for 12 plays, and your quarter might be 1 or 2 plays. So.
Sure.
So that's definitely something I think we're.
So what is your take on all of that then? What is your thought process, I guess?
We go think about it. We got time to think about it. You know what I mean? Like it was, I think right now at least a half. You know what I mean? I like the rotating and learning different things, and I think we do a better job too, of coaching stuff and making sure it's, you know, and I try to make the blocking simpler too than last year. So it's just you have to think as much on the line. You know, but again with rotating positions, like you don't want kids thinking, you know, like so. I think that'll help. So we'll do something. I think we'll just.
How many kids are in rookie tackle?
27, 28. 28.
So you have like 14 kids a team?
Mm-hmm.
So they're, like, you're almost gonna have, they're each gonna play 2 quarters anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So you want them to play 2 quarters and then 2 different positions in those quarters is what you're thinking?
So I think for that, we'll have to figure that out. I think it's like, probably have one group play offense. You know what I mean? Have group one, you guys have offense the first half. Group 2 have defense. Like rotating in a half, I guess. You know what I
Yeah, the
mean?
math works out about a quarter per kid.
Yeah.
And if you're
Quarter
short,
per kid per offense or defense.
and if you're short a kid, you got a kid that's pretty versatile that knows the plays and different positions. You can kind of swap them around.
Yeah. You're gonna have 1 or 2 kids you can kind of move around there and do that. So, yeah, that's a good problem to have. I think having a lot of kids is gonna be new. I know it was a little bit challenging for them last year having like 12, 13 kids.
I think it'd be really hard to balance.
You know what I mean? It's kind of
I don't know.
easy. 8 or 9 kids wasn't hard.
I don't
at all.
know who like
Yeah.
the 6th grade quarterback is that you're kind of getting ready for like say 7th grade.
Yeah.
But you could conceivably play 1 quarter a game at quarterback.
So I think we'll just have to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, and then we have a longer season. We have 7 games too,
Well, that helps a little.
so that helps a little bit. So I think it's just something we kind of figure out and see what other teams are doing. And I think 14 is after the limit. You don't want to win 14. That's
But it'd be hard, I think.
yeah. But it's, so again, I wanted so glad to get that 13. That would have helped. You know, having
That would give you
10, 11
would
is
be
like perfect.
Easier. Yeah.
So we're so close. So and something just keep that in the back of our head and I should make a little note of that. So Ricky
Can't you get out with 9 per team?
You know what? I would for padded flag, but not rookie tackle. Just with the more contact.
Ding.
I just think you have dings.
Did kids get hurt a lot
You
last
need
year?
no, we're okay. But there might be more just dings and you're out for a couple plays. I don't know. It makes me. I think for rookie tackle, you need more kid.
Never seen it, so I have to.
Yeah. I just got to watch a couple of games, so it's just I think with all the contact, one more kid just to be safe. So rookie tackle, 14 kids. No, I think that's a good legitimate concern though. You get 1 quarter at offense, 1 quarter defense. So.
I don't see how you end up any other way.
Yeah, those numbers, yeah.
I just figured it'll keep the kids more engaged instead of standing around. Which totally goes off of it.
All right.
Hey, Joel, I don't have a horse in the race, a rookie tackle, but, I don't know, I might roll the dice on 9. It was such a big difference in playing time. Like, a huge difference in playing time. Between 9 and 14.
I know we talked about it as a board, and we're, I just felt like that
Okay.
last year. I mean, we talked, this is a big debate. You know what I mean? Go for it. It's a bubble, so hopefully we get more kids. I mean, I'm hoping that maybe we'll get a year out, we get 1 or 2, 3 more kids. So if we get, we'll
When school starts, or trying to grab two or three more?
I mean, we got a couple last year, just like the week
Last
before.
year.
You know what I mean? The kids hear about it, or
Yeah.
Are the fourth graders allowed to move up to tackle?
we're going no. We're as a board decided to keep them there. It's again, that's another tricky decision. You know what I mean? Like that was one we really thought about. Some other schools do that. I think it depends on the kid. Maybe something we could discuss. If a parent wants to do it, but I did think about that. Give us 1 or 2 more.
So how many more do you need to get to the in the
3.
3?
We're at 27. We're 9 per right now. But we can revisit that. You know what I mean?
I
We can
don't
revisit
care,
it.
I
Yeah,
just was doing the math in my head, I'm like, and running the clock, you could get not much time.
I know Jack.
Like you said, some of those, the other team goes on a 10-play drive,
Yeah. Yeah.
you might get a kid that plays 2 plays of offense.
What were the at the other level? What were the big plays like? In flag.
It's different. It's definitely different.
Were there a
There's
lot more
less,
big-
There's less cutbacks and there's a lot less big plays.
Okay, I was gonna say
Oh,
'cause like in
really?
flag, you
Big
have a big play and
difference.
it drives over.
Linebackers were reading and scraping and
We're up to 6th grade, so you're gonna see some athletic.
Yeah, the 6th graders know how to play football a little bit. Know how to break down and cutbacks and all that kind of stuff. Didn't happen a whole lot. So it is a different game from what I saw.
Scoring generally lower.
Less sloppy stuff. Yeah. So we'll think about that. We got time. We got some time. We can revisit. It's all good stuff. Let's talk about teams. We can cut. We don't have to videotape this part either.